Hello friends, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. In today's session, we learn about higher education system in our country. So friends, this is the important topic for our preliminary and main examination. Before going to start today's session, it's my pleasure to welcome you all on Unacademy, India's largest learning platform. It's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, guiding UPSC aspirants from last 8 years. You can follow me on Unacademy and you can join our Telegram group using this link. Friends, here is the 4-in-1 offer for you where you will get printed notes worth rupees 10,000 absolutely free with minimum 1 year subscription. Mega subscription offer where you will get guaranteed validity in 1 year subscription till next preliminary examination 2022. And those aspirants are not able to start their preparation due to financial constraints. Unacademy is providing loan for UPSC subscription on our platform. So now you can chase your dream with Unacademy and 10% discount using referral code RBI Live. So this is the 4-in-1 offer, and here is also huge discount on combo subscription. And this offer is valid till 20th May. Yes friends, these are the new prices for this combo subscription. So hurry up and enroll yourself for our combo subscriptions. And those aspirants will go with minimum 2 years of iconic subscription. For the first 100 candidates, we are providing weekly one-on-one personal mentoring by top educators. And those aspirants are pursuing their graduation or after their 12th examination, planning to start their preparation for civil services. They can opt our iconic subscription where they will get additional features along with our plus courses like personal guidance, study planner, study material experts guidelines and test analysis. These are the paid courses available on our platform. And combo subscription. So you can use referral code RBI Live to get 10% discount. We are going to start new batches from 19th May. We have 1 year, 2 year batches and NCRT batches. And friends, here is the free test series for all aspirants where you can use referral code RBI Live and we will provide the test series for general studies and current affairs and Unacademy Combat. We are conducting on every Sunday morning 11 am. This combat is available in Hindi and English medium. Now you can enroll for the combat using code RBI Live. So friends, it's absolutely free for all aspirants. Now we'll start today's topic, that is higher education system. So friends, in India, universities were established as early as in 1857. So these universities did not emerge to keep pace with the growth of knowledge, but to fulfill the interest handpicked by the colonial rules. And the universities in independent India were based on the idea of state welfareism. So it sought to grant equal opportunities to its citizens in accessing national resources, made university education not only accessible but also converted it into mass product. So thus, massification of higher education went on with the increase in number of universities along with enrollments. So it got further aggravated after liberalization, privatization and globalization in 1990-91. So however, massification of higher education has to deal with multiple challenges of accessibility, equity and quality. So now, if we are talking about current higher education in India, where higher education follows a trajectory in which it will transform from being the privilege of few to resource of the majority, more as a right and finally collective obligation. So it will transform from being a privilege of few elite phenomenon to resources of the majority, more as the right mass phenomenon, and finally collective obligation, a universal phenomenon. So from elite phenomenon to mass phenomenon to universal phenomenon. So elite levels implies a national enrollment ratio up to 15%. The mass level ranges between 15% and 15% and 50%, and surpassing 50% enrollment is indicative of the universalization of higher education. So these are the details about enrollment. Now higher education in India by these standards stands up to be in stage of initial massification, 26.3% gross enrollment ratio in 2018-19. And this massification of higher education, which happens through changing policy perspective that guarantee rapid expansion of higher education institutions and enrollments, growing impact of democratic forces in politics like democratization of higher education, strong voices from the civil society, so endorsing accessibility and spread of higher education. So this massification of higher education happens through all these factors. Now, as per the, here is the note where as per the 2018 All India Survey of Higher Education data, there are 903 universities, 37.98% of them are privately managed. So the GER for the male population is 26.3%, and for the female population it is 25.4%. Yes, these are the figures from the Department of Higher Education. Now, when we are talking about regulatory framework of higher education in India, which is Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Association of Indian Universities, Central Advisory Board of Education, State Councils of Higher Education, then UGC, University Grants Commission, AICTE MCI, PCI, DEC BCI NCTE, ICAR, ICMR, ICSSR, CSIR, and state regulators. So, National Board of Accreditation and National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC. So, the regulatory framework of higher education in India, which like in triangle like policy making, regulation, and accreditation. Yes. So, policy making like Department of Higher Education and Ministry of Human Resource Development, Association of Indian Universities, Central Advisory Board of Education and State Councils for Higher Education. Then, if we are talking about regulation, then University Grants Commission, AICTE, MCI, PCI, DEC, BCI, NCT, and state regulators, and also ICAR, ICMR, ICSSR, and CSIR. These are the regulatory bodies or in the work of regulation, policy making, and accreditation, where NAC and National Board of Accreditation. Now, we'll see challenges faced by higher education in India, like enterprise model. So, according to the National Knowledge Commission NKC report 2009, the higher education institutions have been primarily visualized as an application-oriented enterprise. So these are directed towards translating scientific knowledge into innovation-oriented application and thereby making the entire process of commercially exploitable property. So India's higher educational institutions are not even to inculcate scientific and innovation-led outlook among the students. Pedagogy and assessment are focused on input and rote learning, and there are neglected skills including critical thinking, analytical reasoning, problem solving, and collaborative working. Then the challenges like passive and catching up mode. So scholars have identified two different modes of massification at the global level, namely an active mode and passive and catching up mode. So the active mode is exemplified by developed countries where the massification of higher education took place more as natural outcome of economic development. So the passive and catching up mode can be experienced in developing countries where the massification of higher education is often pushed as leap forward by the government, while the level of economic development might not have increased adequately. So we were facing or in our country regarding higher education, the challenges like passive and catching up. Then education systems based on passive and catching up mode may suffer from issues like lack of adequate skills, jobs, and underemployment. So India is among many countries where Passive and catching up mode of massification is largely in operation. Then third challenge is problem of scarcity. So consequently, countries characterized by the passive and catching up mode of massification have to rely more on private rather than government aided institutions for obvious economic reasons. The heavy dependence on privately managed institutions as a means of massification has often resulted in debated consequences to the extent of perpetuating inequality in accessing higher education. Then two-boxed system. Yes, in India, there are separate research institutes and universities. So the separation in higher education between teaching institutions and research institutions. So post-independence has caused much harm as most universities and colleges in the country today conduct very little research. So according to draft National Education Policy 2019, the proportion of GDP devoted to research and innovation in India has dropped over the past decade. From 0.84% of the GDP in 2008 to 0.69% in 2014. So which is sustainably lower than percentage of Israel, South Korea and US. So also there are few opportunities for interdisciplinary learning. These are the challenges. Now other issues. So on the greatest challenges faced by higher education in India is the chronic shortage of teaching faculty. Nearly 30 to 40% of faculty positions are vacant. Further, most faculties lack quality in teaching, research, and training. None of the universities and institutions from India are in the list of top 100 universities in the world. But these results resulted in graduates with low employability and a common feature of higher education in India. So an ineffective quality assurance system and lack of autonomy and accountability by institutions to the state and central government, students and other stakeholders. So friends, these are the challenges in higher education and academic research. Yes, now in today's session we are studying about higher education system in our country. So the challenges like gross enrollment ratio, university education and infrastructure, the job market placement, industry-oriented research and innovation, quality and assessment of practices, inadequate financial support, political interference. So these are the challenges in higher education and academic research. So the role of higher education in shaping the student's future, which depends on transparent, progressive, socially responsible and ethical educational system. So in this context, the draft National Education Policy 2019, which calls for fundamental restructuring the country's higher education system. Now the policy seeks to boost India's research capacity, doubling the gross enrollment rate from 25 to 50% by 2035 and substantially increasing expenditure on public education, which currently account for 10% of all government spending. Yes, it also revives a long-stalled India of inviting top-ranked foreign universities to operate in India and suggests legislation will introduce to this effect. Yes. So, the policy calls for higher education institutions to evolve into one of the three types of multidisciplinary institutions like research universities, teaching universities and colleges. It also calls for building research capacities at all institutions and the establishment of a national research foundation. So the draft policy, which includes a wide range of other proposals like adopting a more liberal arts oriented from undergraduate education, moving away from rote learning in curriculum and pedagogy, improving faculty autonomy and developing robust and merit-based tenure track, promotion and salary structure, increasing institutional autonomy with institutions to be governed by independent boards, revamping the regulatory system to only have one regulator for all higher education. So though the draft education policy, which seems very promising, the real challenge would be the proper implementation of this. Yes. So friends, this is an overview of higher education in our country. So in independent India, the university education based on the idea of state welfareism, which sought to grant equal opportunities to its citizens in accessing national resources, so made university education not only accessible but also converted it into a mass product. Then massification of higher education has to deal with the multiple challenges of accessibility, equity and quality. Then we have covered how higher education follows trajectory in which will transform from being elite phenomenon to mass phenomenon to a universal phenomenon. Then the higher education in India, but this standard stands out to be a stage of initial massification with 26.3 gross enrollment ratio, in 2018-19. So the massification of higher education happens through changing policy perspective, growing impact of democratic forces in politics, and strong voices from the civil society. Then we have learned about the regulatory framework of higher education in India, like policy making, regulation, and accreditation. Then we have covered challenges faced by higher education in India, like enterprise model. So the observations by the National Knowledge Commission report regarding enterprise model, passive and catching up mode. So in this mode of massification is largely in operation. Then problem of scarcity, two box system, like there are separate research institutes and universities. Then we have also covered other issues and challenges in higher education and academic research. So friends, that's it for today's session of higher education system. Now see you in the next lecture with new topic. Till the time, keep revising and keep studying. Those aspirants are planning to appear for preliminary examination this year. Do not forget to start your evaluation through our free test series and enroll yourself for Unacademy Combat. And friends, do not forget to like, share and subscribe Unacademy videos. We will help you to achieve your goal in civil services. So friends, that's it for today's session. Stay safe, stay home, take care, all the best.